Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got another product from OWC in on the bench here. This is a Thunderbolt 3 Dock. And this is one of two Thunderbolt 3 docks OWC has. This is the lower, I'm not going to say lower end, but this is the cheaper model. And there's a bit of a difference here. This one's got a larger port selection, but it doesn't have a 10G base T port built in. The other one has a 10G base T port built in, but does sacrifice a few ports on it. Although I think it has CFast as well. This one's definitely micro SD and SD, gigabit Ethernet. We've got high-powered USB and USB 3.1 Gen 2 on the front. And we've just got our ports listed on the back here. Specs. 2 Thunderbolts, 5 USB 3 Gen 1s, and 1 USB 3.1 Gen 2. Type-C, a mini display port, gigabit Ethernet, SPDIF digital audio port, output only, hybrid 3.5mm headphone jack, 1 SD 4.0 and micro SD 4.0 media reader. And there's a note there. Shared controller, only one can be used at a time. Well, that's a bummer. I definitely would have liked to have done USB to micro USB type stuff. So, with that stuff out of the way, does it tell us what our warranty is? OWC 2-year limited warranty, Mac OS 10.12, or Windows 10 required. Display port, Thunderbolt 3 port supports video up to 5K 60 via native Thunderbolt displayer, 4K 60 via USB-C display adapter. Mini DisplayPort 1.2 supports up to 4K 60. So all of the 4K goodness on our video ports. Let's get in here. So, OWC, here's your package content guide. Little instruction on which ports do what. That is not light. There's definitely a lot of aluminum in the construction here. We've got nice peels protecting the material. I'm not going to remove those just yet. So one of these is a high-powered port. Probably outputs 2 amps and is probably always on. The one on the front is a high-powered port as well. Thunderbolts, SPDIF, display port. And here's one thing that I understand why they're doing it, but I wish they wouldn't. So they have a barrel connector for this brutal power supply. And to a certain degree, I get it. This is a 20 volt, 9 amp, 180 watt brick, which is meant to feed this dock and all of the downstream devices as well as the PC. So, I mean, 180 watts sounds like a overkill when you say that it's only really supposed to charge 91 out via the USB, or sorry, 91 out the Thunderbolt connector. 85 watts. So that sounds like there's 100 watts there more than there needs to be. Well, not really. There's a second Thunderbolt out that is going to provide power to a Thunderbolt device. So let's be minimalist and say that that's a 10 watt device, and then 5 watts per USB port. And then these high powered ports are probably 10 watts as well. So there's 10, 20, 30, 5. This is another high powered, so 45, and then 55 for that USB-C. I mean, that's over 130 watts already. And those are probably low estimates for the Thunderbolt out's capability, since we've seen Thunderbolt powered monitors that are supposed to be chained off things like this. So, and I say I'm picking on them because this is a 180 watt brick. At least it's nice and slim. It's a barrel connector. It's not a Thunderbolt connector. And that means that this has to have this barrel connected 20 volt 9 amp brick. I can't just use an existing Thunderbolt 3 AC adapter. And I get it. They want to provide enough power to all the ports. However, it kind of sucks that I can't use the adapter that may have come with a system if something goes wrong with this. I have to have this. At least, it's a fairly common design. I think this is the same barrel connector that their USB-C dock uses. Hell, it might even be the same size connector that... I'm going to laugh if this fits. No, it's different. Okay. Let's see, I thought it might have been the same connector that Trendnet used on their USB-C cube, but not quite. So anyway, this is it. This is the Thunderbolt 3 dock. Definitely a lot of heat sinking in here. I wonder, do these feet pop off easily at all? No, and I don't see a screw under there, so it's probably snapped together. I might pry those apart for the review and see if I can get inside and see what controller's there, but no promises. Overall, I generally like what I'm seeing. There's a couple of things that are a little disappointing to look at, although some of them are definitely just based on who OWC is as a company. So we have a mini DisplayPort connector here. We don't have full-size DisplayPort. And that's really Apple's doing. Apple used the mini DisplayPort connector for Thunderbolt 2. OWC generally makes peripherals focused on Apple, but is not ignoring the PC market. They just know where their target audience is. So they're guessing that people that have mini are going to have mini DisplayPort stuff. I would have liked to have seen a mini DisplayPort to DisplayPort adapter in the box, or even a mini DisplayPort to HDMI for the people that need it. There's certainly room in the packaging to bundle those, and I know some of their other docks, their USB-C dock that we covered, which originally was available both as mini DisplayPort and HDMI, and I said that they should cut the HDMI model out and just include an adapter with them. Well, that's actually what they're doing now. So I would like to, see that same adapter included here. I would have liked to have seen separate audio jacks. And this is one of those I'm probably old and a stick in the mud type things here, where functionally there's no reason that they couldn't have included separate jacks. They're just betting that more people have combined headsets than not right now. And third, and this is actually the only one that's really a big complaint. I don't know why they bothered with this. This feels like port count stuffing to a certain degree. I like that both of them are here, but my first thought when I saw both of them was that they would have separate controllers and I'd be able to use both of them independently. Just like some of the Lexar card readers we've reviewed that have 3 micro SD card slots on them. I can put 3 micro SD cards in that and test all 3 at once. Here, this is a shared controller, so the convenience is in not having to have an SD to micro SD dongle to use micro SDs in it. But really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All it does is bring the port count from 13 to 14. And maybe that was the whole purpose of that, was to not have that unlucky number 13. That said, if that was really their end goal, they could have separated the audio or jammed another USB port on the front. I am happy with the number of USB ports that's in here. We've got 5 Type A's, a USB-C, a Thunderbolt, which will have support for daisy chaining. I am a little surprised to see that it cares which Thunderbolt the PC is on. A lot of devices don't. So, That's just interesting, and I'm going to try both. And you know what? You know what I didn't see? Did this not include a Thunderbolt cable? Huh. Oh. I was almost going to have to complain that it didn't include a Thunderbolt cable. It did. Thunderbolt 3 half meter passive cable. And date 2001, so this would have been made in January this year. Overall, it looks robust. We're going to test it. We're going to put it through its paces. We're going to hook a 4K panel up to it. I can't do that here in the studio. My 4K panel is just too big to move. If anyone knows someone who's got a smaller, more portable 4K monitor that they want reviewed, let us know, because I'd love to get my hands on something that is not a literal monster to drag around all the time. My 4K panel is a Dell P43, and it's a 43-inch screen. I love it. It looks beautiful. I use it to edit the videos, but it's too big to drag in here. All right, so all of that said, if there's any specific testing you want to see on the dock, obviously we're going to do performance tests. We're going to take a known quantity SD card and test it here. We're going to test some of our USB SSDs attached to it via Thunderbolt. We're going to listen to some audio on the jack. I'll bring an Ethernet cable in. I'll do a performance test for gigabit Ethernet. And I will test that the monitor outs work here in the studio, although I can't run them at 4K. And I'll cram all the USB ports full and see what happens, just for the hell of it. So that's really it. If there's any tests anyone wants to see specifically run that I didn't cover, let me know in the comments, and we will make sure to include those. Closing out, I want to thank our patrons and anyone who uses our Amazon links for helping support Pocketables. Stuff like that really helps, especially when we have to buy adapters and other various bits for testing. I want to thank Electrix for providing our opening and closing themes. And finally, thank you for watching.